China's leaders have traditionally used big idea slogans to promote the ideals and governing philosophy they want to foster for the present and future of the country. These slogans, due in part to their simplicity and vagueness, pack a lot into a few words, and people who know China or want to learn about the world's most populous nation must think deeply about them. When they make pronouncements in slogan form, the leaders of China's central government aren't just articulating a philosophy or trying to inspire people. They are defining the vision and endpoint for mechanisms of legal and social development, for enterprise, and for resource management. A landmark statement by the chairman of the Communist Party is not an attempt to create a mood or inspire the population. It's a national strategy. Deng Xiaoping, China's de facto leader from 1978 to 1992, set the stage for the early post-Mao years with his policy of 4 modernizations: agriculture, industry, science and technology, and the military. Deng affixed 2 names to the next era: reform and opening, and socialism with Chinese characteristics. It was a movement that birthed the Chinese economic miracle of the past 30 years. What he meant by socialism with Chinese characteristics was that China would pursue a path of reforms focused on market development. The deeper, unsaid but readily understood meaning behind it was that China would abandon the ideological purity and the cult of Mao, dictatorship of the masses, in favor of something far more pragmatic, a version of the use of capital and markets that was compatible with China's own economic history and with some non-Chinese versions of capitalism dominant in our age. In 1992, when it seemed that power struggles within the party to reverse market reforms were gaining ground, Deng made another pronouncement: "To get rich is glorious." What he signaled with that bold statement was that China should work to elevate its status as a wealthy, strong nation, that individuals would be permitted to accrue private property and wealth, that ideology was taking a back seat to pragmatism, and that pragmatism meant commitment to economic expansion backed by market-directed capital. It wasn't just an empty slogan. It was a major policy direction. Deng's successors, Jiang Zemin and Zhu Rongji, were successful in implementing extensive reforms that opened numerous sectors to foreign investment and took China into the World Trade Organization, WTO. As the structure and direction of China's economy deviated further and further from the doctrines of communism, the new party secretary of China, Jiang Zemin, felt the need to develop his own vision of leadership, the 3 represents. Announced in 2000, the vision aimed to reconcile the direction of China's development, more social reform and more capitalist constructs, with China's political status under the Communist Party. In other words, it was an attempt to answer an obvious question. How is it that a country led by the Communist Party is encouraging the ownership of production by private interests and the accrual of personal wealth? Jiang's 3 represents state that the party stands for the development trends of advanced productive forces, 2, the orientations of an advanced culture, 3, the fundamental interests of the overwhelming majority of China's people. So much for collective ownership of the means of production.